Welcome to Live Action Star Wars. I'm Ralph.
I'm James.
And today we're discussing Mandalorian Chapter 24, The Return. And we're not doing it alone. We brought along Patrick. There he is. Patrick, how's it going?
He made it back. He made it back from Celebration.
Made it back from Celebration. I'm here on time. Everything's going great. I want to
talk about that.
Okay.
I want to talk about that. Last time you weren't here on time, and that's fine because we ended up talking for, it was a 2-hour long show.
Yeah.
I did an hour with James and then about an hour and a half with you. On that episode, you teased a guest in the private chat. You told me who you booked for George Lucas Talk Show.
Right.
People, I don't really think, based on my context clues, I probably gave away too much of who you were talking about.
Okay.
That episode had landed, and the guest you had mentioned was Amy Irving.
Oh, sure.
And I just got to say up front, anybody who wants a good, like, satisfying 2-ish hours of entertainment with all kinds of, like, great stuff set up, great stuff.
It's so good.
Route. It is such a good episode. And this is, you know how I feel about this, but I said it is for me personally, it is the one man's trash of George Lucas Talk Show.
It's a really good episode.
I feel like right now, if anybody were to say, I'm going to watch a George Lucas Talk Show, which one should I watch? I would point them to the Amy Irving episode. Also, you have other two fabulous guests. But you could tell they were along for the ride as well. Like they were enjoying
right from the jump. It started. That episode started as it meant to continue for sure.
Yeah, the other two guys. We had Michael Urie, who's on Shrinking right now with our friend Han Solo himself, Harrison Ford, and then Andrew Barth Feldman, who was Evan Hansen on Broadway, and he's in a movie with Jennifer Lawrence coming out this summer. Very two cool guests on their own. Like if it had just been them, it still would have been a good episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We went in. So we went to see Air. Me and my family went to go see Air. Good movie, solid movie. A lot of setup, a lot of payoff, a lot of really, really good stuff in there.
Does he get paid for the shoes?
We saw the trailer.
He does.
What's
he
that?
gets paid for the shoes.
Okay, cool.
And they make the shoes. That's
the thing is, you know.
Yeah, of course. But you know that Titanic's going to sink. It's still a banger movie. Like,
when they reveal the minorest of spoilers for Air, at one point they go, "We figured out the shoe. We got the shoe," and they pick it up and they put it on the table, and someone in the audience gasped. And I was like, "You all know what the shoe looks like. Why are you gasping?"
You're only here because you know the shoe.
Yeah.
So weird.
But before it, they had the trailer for the movie, the Jennifer Lawrence movie, and I'm like, he's like the main guy. He's like Linguini is the main guy.
Yeah.
I turned to Stevie. I'm like, that's the Linguini guy, and she said, "I know."
That trailer plays
I
great.
watched George.
Yeah.
So before we get into this, let's say hi to the chat.
Yeah.
Because everybody is here. Sarah, Jeremy's working. He usually shows up for the 7:30. Rob is here, which is really funny because I was just talking with Ryan Ozawa about the movie I'm making and I could talk about. And he gave us a link to like every photo that he took for Lost. Like it's got like 1,100 photos. And the very last photo was a picture of Rob with Matthew Fox, and it was hilarious. Anyway, I'm glad Rob's here. Mm-hmm. Scott D. Ian's here. Stevie's here. I'm just going to say this as a little bit of a spoiler. Usually after episodes of Mandalorian, me and Stevie have a conversation about it. Just a little bit, like pre-show conversation. It has now been 2 hours. We haven't spoken a word about it to each other.
I don't know how to take that.
That's not a good thing.
Oh, no.
Richard Booth is here. Made a live show finally. That's great.
Hello, Richard.
Dartharian's here. Kayla's here. Kayla says smack that like. Yeah, hit the like button. We never ask people to do that, but go ahead and do it. And then Brad is here. It's a pretty good size group.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And is it
9
later? I think it might be.
Also, the episode wasn't
One
very
day I'll
long.
get a better job. Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're very good. All right, let's talk about this show.
longer.
Oh, wait.
Should've-
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. StreamYard is also here.
Of
Thank you,
course.
StreamYard, for joining us. StreamYard, please hit that like button. Can you imagine?
Every time we say it, Patrick's got to do it. The precedent has been set now.
Good happens.
Can you imagine if
There
there
you
was a
go.
guy at StreamYard that had to watch all of these?
And doesn't like anything apart from our show because we asked them specifically.
Said like.
Yeah, see, Kayla's usually waking up right now, so yeah, a little bit of a later time.
Yeah. So Ralph,
Here's the thing. Can I
what
just say
did you
something?
think of the episode?
So here's what I want to say something real quick and off the bat. And we've been saying this. This is like sort of our Twitter mantra is speculation leads to expectations. Expectations lead to disappointment. Disappointment leads to toxicity. I don't know. Something of that.
Something like that. I think I've
And-
chopped and changed it like 3 times. Yeah.
And
And
all
really
season we've been speculating and
suffering,
speculating.
all that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
speculating and speculating who's going to ride the mythosaur, who's going to have the dark saber, who's Thrawn, and all this stuff.
The show isn't doing that.
And that could lead to disappointment. But
Yeah.
the thing is, for me, you got to do something. It doesn't have to be those things.
Uh-huh.
It's so weird for an episode that felt so final. Like this could have been the end of the show if they wanted it to
But
be.
we've
Like,
said
if-
that about season 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like Luke taking Grogu that ended Din's story, and so now we kind of.
It's like for a
even
show
though I
that they
like
keep on
Bo-Katan.
saying for the everyone behind the scenes is like, yeah, we'd happily make this forever. Like we love doing this. We love doing this. Why do they keep on ending their seasons on like these literally an iris out? Like it's a that's all, folks. Like
Oh my god!
it was so weird.
Yeah.
But
It was
I mean, it was so weird. I burst out laughing. I had to rewind it and watch it 3 times just because I was laughing so hard.
yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't mind the ranch house cowboy like just doing that sort of stuff. I think that's all fine.
I
It's
liked it.
I like
I saw
I
it.
thought
I
it was cool.
saw them in the house. I was like, great, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Iris
And it's
was-
what a nice sort of setup. And like if they were to come back, but it's like they're gonna come back. Of course they're gonna come back. It's just maybe we don't see this show for 4 years now. Like who knows?
Well, you know what's funny is so we're all fans of Lost. I don't know if you heard. I'm producing a documentary about it, and a lot of people. One of the things we bring up is people saying that they just make it up the whole time.
Yeah.
And when it comes to 8 episode seasons,
Mm.
I feel like you can come up with a concise story to fit that.
Yeah.
And not saying that they're making it up the whole time, but it feels disjointed. And with the epilogue, one of the epilogues of this is Carson Teva
Yeah, that guy.
telling Mando like, "Oh, I'll give you jobs." And he's like, it'll be on a case-by-case basis. So now they're flat out saying like, oh, this whole 3-season arc is like, this is the story. But now we're just kind of gonna go around and do whatever. And I'm like, you guys, I feel like you've been kind of just going around doing whatever this whole time.
And
I've enjoyed this season.
every season. Yeah.
I've enjoyed the season. I enjoy the craziness.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I also
It's
did
Lizzo.
Yeah.
But this like, it feels like the plan was this season we're gonna finally reclaim Mandalore.
Mhm.
Cool. That's great. That's
Yep.
something
Yeah.
that's been around since, I don't know, like after Clone Wars or whatever. And this is the big finale. Like this was like the anchor of what you were leading to was like a
Yes.
fist fight and some rockets.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Yes.
The whole season, they were like, we need to take Mandalore back. We need to get it back. It's ours. We deserve it. We're taking it back. Who did they need to take it back from? I felt
Yeah,
like
that-
the whole time,
we were saying
like,
this.
no one there there's like the cave guys, you know, the land of the lost.
They didn't
cave
know
guys.
that Gideon was there. So like who were they reclaiming it from? Like we said this a few weeks ago and it was just like, was it those cave guys? Was it the spider mech thing, which now was that one of Gideon's things? Like, I don't know. Was that Gideon's eye that we saw in there? Like, I don't know. But it's felt strange.
I heard people online saying it was Darth Maul. That's what I heard. So I think that's probably who that guy was.
I don't need a big reveal. I don't need big things, but it just feels like it all boiled down to a fist fight in a room that Din had trouble getting into and Bo just flew in from the top. Like that kind of stuff should be worked out a little bit better. I don't like rewriting what they gave us.
No,
it's not something I don't really enjoy. But I feel like the whole setup was Din got captured. And then it started this episode with him just getting through only to get captured again.
Yeah. I do think something that's interesting with this season is there's 8 episodes. When you take out the opening credits and the closing credits, each episode's like 25 minutes long.
Yeah, 30 tops. Like either the longer ones this season have been like 30, 35. Like, yeah.
So when you put all that together, it's like the length of a movie. You know?
Right.
And it's just, it's not too much story to deal with because it's the length of a movie, kind of.
And it shouldn't be too much story to deal with.
Yeah. And I just find that interesting. I don't know. I want to be clear. I like Star Wars. I like this show. I enjoy watching this show. And, you know, I think we all just finished it fairly recently. James maybe watched it a couple hours ago because different time zones. But maybe I will soften up on it as time goes on. That's usually the case. That's usually how it goes. But I think watching it immediately and then doing this has made me a little like, you know.
It's one of those things. I've generally enjoyed more of this season on my second watch, and I've been able to do those like before the seasons, before we record the podcast. Today, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I've had all day to do it, but I've been doing other things, and I didn't rewatch this one before, so I might watch it this evening. But yeah, there was moments, and I was like, okay, that's the way you're gonna do that, then, is it? Okay, where's Grogu when they're running through the hallway? Where's when what's his name, Axe gets up to the ship? Where's the armorer? And then we just see her. It's like all of this sort of stuff
they're all good.
Could be, like last week's episode's title was The Spies. It really is a bad title. Like it should have been The Scouts, because assuming
now here's something that I heard. I heard there's a biblical story about spies that has a different. Do we know?
I heard the same thing. Yeah, and it was the biblical sort of connotation of the word, wasn't it? It was like they were the ones who sort of. But
that's confusing. Let's not do that.
Let's not do that. We don't need to do that.
I want to bring up something Scott D mentions. Scott says, Ralph, this show does play this season more like one of the old serials. Like I watched Flash Gordon serials, and one thing definitely reminded me of Flash Gordon was in the first Flash Gordon serial, the big finale is Flash Gordon versus Ming the Merciless, and Ming the Merciless essentially gets set on fire. Then it's revealed in the next set of serials that Ming the Merciless is impervious to fire. He can just walk through it. It's no big deal. And it's exactly what I thought when Gideon got engulfed in fire. I'm like, oh, he's fine. Why wouldn't he be fine?
I think it also plays like one of the old serials, because the whole season you're like, Adnan is either going to be innocent or guilty, and you're building up this whole thing, and then by the end you realize Sarah Koenig was just kind of like spinning her wheels and didn't really have an ending to the season. The podcast serial, guys, that was the joke. It was about the podcast serial.
The first podcast, if you ask most of the world.
But that's the thing, like, is if that's going to be your big, if you know what your finale is going to be, maybe punch it up. I don't like rewriting, but I mentioned this last week as a theory of why Din was captured and not killed, and I was thinking that it would be to lure Grogu in so that Gideon could finish his experiments, Pershing's experiments.
Yeah.
And I would have just loved for Din to be tied down on a table, captured, or in a cell, captured. Grogu come in to rescue him, get captured, and have Grogu's blood pumped into Gideon's tanks, and him monologue about now I'm going to have the Force. But instead, it was a literal,
he doesn't
like
even
nothing
need to be
against
there.
video games, but it was a video game level. It was the,
I've
video
got that
game
written
Kung
down.
Fu.
Yep.
It was Kung Fu.
Yeah.
You go through, you kick these guys. Now you have a knife. You go through, kick these guys. Now you have a shield.
It's gun game from GoldenEye. Like you just play and you get a new weapon every time. Yeah.
So it was like I just like that would be story. Instead, it's like fight punch. Good guys are good guys. Bad guys are bad guys.
Yeah, everyone good is good, and everyone bad was bad. Like there was no. But again, it's not that sort of show. It's not doing the surprises. It's really trying.
Luke Skywalker was a surprise.
Yeah,
I mean, we all speculated and it happened, and so we were happy. Cool.
Yeah.
But there was nothing surprising. There were things that were set up, like Mythosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. He
and
winked
like
at Grogu
legitimately,
at the end.
we're not gonna get this show for at least 2 years, probably, because they haven't started filming, and then it usually takes a year after the filming for the show to come out. So like, I don't know. It just seems odd to set up so much stuff this season and then not pay off any of it, knowing that the next season is not coming until 2025, 2026. I don't know.
Kayla says maybe there's more tanks for.
I thought this.
Gideon's.
Yeah, like
I think Navarro had some tanks.
Yeah, those guys looked a little bit ropier, but like there's other tanks. He's gonna have other stuff out there.
Now that we know that Gideon was trying to inundate himself with the Force, and there's tanks on Navarro, I would assume by now that Grief Cargo would have had those dismantled.
Yeah,
or he's moved in there and he's doing his own thing.
Why do you think
this is actually the third Grief Cargo?
Why do you think they didn't show the scene where Gideon shaves his mustache?
It does it in the helmet.
Is that what happens?
It's just a grooming.
I think that's how.
Little trimmer in there.
I think that's why Bo-Katan has a perfect like bowl cut with the line of the helmet. It's not a bowl cut, but I mean it would be a deep bowl.
The haircut helmet. Yeah.
Mixing bowl haircut.
Yeah. Oh, I like Fett's new comment.
Yeah, I've got it here. This one, season 2 finale was N64 on Christmas morning. Season 3 finale was a cool pair of pajamas. I mean, we're all getting older. We all appreciate a cool pair of pajamas. But it's no N64.
What was the season 1 finale?
The big fight on Navarro, Moff Gideon. And then like the lava river and yeah.
I think that's the one finale that I like unabashedly like.
I think that's fair.
I like the season 2 finale. I couldn't sing Luke Skywalker. It made me so happy.
No, I'm just weird about the Luke stuff.
It's I don't know. I do think that Luke will be like the first fully deepfaked character in a main movie, like as a major character, in whatever the movie that Dave directs is. He's gonna be all over it, I think. To the Empire movie.
Speaking of all over it, look at that beautiful poster over your shoulder.
Oh, this one here.
Nope. Right. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that
pretty good?
I'm going to be in the background of all of your shows now.
If we zoom in, you can see Patrick. He's right there.
Just great work, artwork by Alex Robinson.
Yeah.
Of Star Wars Minute.
Listen to Star Wars Minute this season, guys. Yeah, they just started back this season.
I would even say listen to minutes 21 through 26.
I'd say so. I think they're pretty good minutes.
8?
No, 26.
No, you had 26. And we're the lead-in.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I'm just gonna say it. I don't care. We're the lead-in.
We're the lead-in. We're there.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. What did we like about this week?
I like this episode. It really, really does lean into. I mean, I didn't think it was like the best or anything. It was one of the weakest of the season, but I still enjoyed it. I still had fun with it. It's Din is more of a video game character in this episode than in I think any other part of the show. Like the first time we see him, it's POV. Like it's a full-on first-person shooter, and then he decides to break out because he couldn't do that before apparently. And then he's got his flame retardant cape that gets blasted with flames like 3 or 4 times, and it just looks unscorched. Like until the very end, it looks absolutely pristine and fine. He plays gun game, like going through the doors, and he's just he's got hit points. He can just take shots left, right, and center. And all right, they've all got like Beskar armor and things, but he just seems like he just brushes it off. That's just their way of saying hi to him, is to shoot him in the back. It's he's not my favorite part of this show. Din is just like that guy who's there.
James, I said, what did you like about this week?
I know. You're right. I was falling down that trap.
I agree.
I like the costumes.
I agree with the comment saying that I wish this ep was combined with the last episode. I think it. I think it would be disappointing.
I had that same feeling with Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah,
I feel like the last 2 episodes should have been combined. It would have been.
I just think
it wouldn't have mattered because we're still in the middle of the month, so people wouldn't have to have resubscribed to get this episode. So they could have played them.
I just think last week set up so much and had such a specific tone, and like felt like it was dangling all these plot threads in front of you, and then coming back to this one, you're like, oh, but this feels like a different show again. You know what I mean? Like going from the
same director.
I know. Because the second to last episode was the Jack Black Lizzo one, right? The Narcina 5 one. And then this one, and then the one in the middle are like 3 completely different feeling episodes. You know what I mean? I don't know. I just think it would have been more satisfying.
I really enjoyed seeing the Mandalorians who'd been left behind on Mandalore last week. I thought that was there was an interesting thread.
The
there
garden,
of and then we got some of them. They joined the fight. Cool, great. And then we got to see them escape, and then they're in their garden, and we got like a brief 2-3 minute scene of them just sort of saying like, "No, look, we've been essentially terraforming and like retaking our planet our own way for years now." We've been doing this. We planted. We've got farms. We're doing all of this stuff. And I was like, well, surely that should open Bo's eyes, because it doesn't change any of her motivations. She still then turns around and is like, cool, let's go take our planet back. I was like, you were gonna do that anyway, weren't you? Like, I don't know. I don't see the point in those characters other than next time we go back to Mandalore, like there's a lot more greenery everywhere. Maybe.
Sure. But even that's asking a lot very quickly, because they've been trying to do it for a very long time.
Yeah. There wasn't many of them.
It would sort of be like how a lot of people assumed Grogu was going to talk in this episode.
There was a setup for it. Yeah.
Sure. But also, I think people thought he'd be like, hello, my name is Grogu. I am a Mandalorian. You know, like,
this is the way. Yeah.
It would just be too much. It would be too much too quickly.
I think all the setup for him talking was to lead to the yes no button, which is brilliant and is used excellently in this. So like when that very first shot when we see Bo and Koska like running through the corridors and stuff, being chased by the super commandos, like I was like, well, there's no IG unit there. Like where is Grogu? And they don't seem to be worried. So he's obviously like hung back and then got through, like looked at Jon Favreau's dead body and just come, okay, whatever. I'm gonna go get my dad. And then he just sort of chased him down and caught up to him really, really quick. And then nothing, and just for the cute, like, no moments. And then he does it again, I don't know. I did like this episode. I did enjoy it. I did have fun watching it.
We've all ended our rants with I don't know.
Yeah, just.
Do you have positive things to say? Like, what are some of the things you liked, Patrick?
You're talking about me. I think that big fight they had where they're all flying in the air was really cool. You know what I'm talking about?
Really cool.
Dead eyes, not giving me any acknowledgement. So I just wanted to make sure that he knew what I was saying.
There was a great shot when Bo ignites the Darksaber, like in air.
It's cool.
Great.
It's cool.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I also thought it's a shame they crashed that big ship, but it was
Yeah.
a cool set piece. You know what I mean? I also thought he was gonna go down with the ship, and I was very confused. I was like, "What? Like, what's the point? Like, we just brought him back just to do this? Is this
It could have been the other guy. It could have been the guy that was up there earlier. Like,
could have been one of 50 of them that we don't know who they are."
Yeah.
What else did I
do you
like
think?
about
Do you
it?
think that the reason that they did that is to keep us guessing about him, in the same way that the reason that we don't see the armorer until later is to keep
that's-
you guessing about those two characters?
Well, that's what I thought the whole time. When he was like, "Get out of here, go down," and the guy like stops and looks at him kind of weird,
Yeah.
and he does kind of a weird. I assumed that was going to be leading to something, but it didn't lead to anything.
A betrayal from him, and then
Yes.
and then we hear it, like all the way up to the point where she starts killing stormtroopers. I was like, man, the armor is going to turn. The armor is going to turn. The armor is going to turn. Like when
Yeah.
she flies in, I was expecting her to just open fire on the ones who are flying up.
Sure.
And then And then
Yeah.
she's just there.
JT Kell in the comments saying mouse droids were great. I agree with that.
They were cute. They were cute with their little police sirens.
Yeah, it was fun, and the IG-11 stuff I like too.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, those were the big stuff, I guess. R5, I feel like they kind of forgot about R5 for like 4 or 5 episodes, right? Have we seen R5 really since they went down with the Land of the Lost guys?
I think we saw him get off the ship, and that was about it.
He was in the Foundling episode where Carson Teva shows up, and he's like,
Yeah.
he's a secret rebel spy.
Oh yeah.
But
then the
not really.
Mandalorians are like, okay, we'll keep him around, despite the fact that he's reporting on all of this.
Yeah.
Mandalorians are pretty dumb. I think that's what
IG-11.
that's what I've come down on. They're pretty dumb. They'll follow cult leaders. Like they're noble, they're warriors, but they're not the brightest.
Here's what I've
this
realized
episode
while
was-
watching this show, and people may get mad at this, but I'm gonna say it. I don't give a shit about Mandalorian culture or most of the Mandalorians. I don't
Sounds
care.
familiar.
Is that
Okay.
okay? Great. Hi, Ralph.
But the thing is, it's like the thing is, it's like for me, it's like a cult, and I'm not into like religion and cults and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
The
not
way
my
side of
thing.
it, like the armor side of it, for sure.
Also,
right.
does this is the way just mean anything? It's sort of like the I am Groot of the Mandalorians. Like,
Yeah,
they're
totally.
just like
it's just full
mean
stop.
anything.
It's just yeah.
Yes. Yeah. What was it? Where she was like, when he's like, I'm gonna adopt him, she goes, "This is the way," and I'm like, what does that mean?
Since
What are you
when has that
talking
been the
about?
way?
I know.
Yeah.
It's the I have spoken. It's Kuil's I have spoken,
sure.
like period,
Sure.
like end of sentence. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think there's too many rules, and the rules are very flexible as to when they are followed and when they are not followed. And then all of a sudden they'll be like, "Well, you know, we don't do this," and you're like, "Well, we've never heard that before."
Yeah.
Like, what are you
just
talking
did that
about?
last week.
Yeah.
Like, in to that point as well, like the jetpacks, like I feel like
Yeah.
we're railing on this episode. I feel bad about it, but like the jetpacks earlier this season, we got a shot of like limited jetpack fuel, but
Yeah.
they can make it. They can make it to atmosphere. Like, surely that's further than chasing down that creature on their
The bat.
their planet.
Shriek
Darth-
bat?
Darth-
No.
Dartherian, the last comment that just came in. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care about legend stuff at all. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, I
wish
mean,
I
the thing
did.
is, was Din Djarin adopted by?
Also, hang on. Din is the family name,
Yeah, what? that threw me. I was like,
but
we're
Boba
calling
Fett's
him
not a
Din
family
Grogu
name.
now.
Yeah, Casca is not a family name. Like, what?
Mark
know.
Vibert jumps in and says, "Have a great show. I'm looking forward to watching the playback once I've seen the episode."
Have fun, Mark.
Poor Mark. I feel so bad because the thing with live action Star Wars is it's always we've always tried to be positive and stay on the positive side of things, and we try to look, not sort of be mean and stuff. And it's I'm glad there's Star Wars. I really am glad. And it's just funny how back in '99 I drove from Anaheim to Hollywood to pick up 10 tickets to the Phantom Menace because it was coming out the following week. and then I drove back. I went just to pick up the tickets. It was so exciting for to go and do everything I could to make sure I saw new Star Wars. Now I don't even have to leave my house. I just walk to my couch
It
and
comes
hit
to
play,
you every week.
and I could see new Star Wars. And I don't know why, if it's just oversaturation.
Maybe.
But I'm just not excited. I was not excited. I don't know. It's not exciting.
Something that would help this show
I have an
live
idea
up
as
to
well.
its full potential.
I have this idea as well.
Okay. I'm very curious if it's the same idea. Is bringing like 2 other people into the writer's room.
Wrong. Get rid of all of them. Bring in Bryce Dallas Howard to do it. Oh, Patrick's gone.
We lost Patrick. That was it.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's back.
Just give it to Bryce Dallas Howard.
Sure, but she's not.
Give her.
But she's not.
But can I just say Rick?
No.
Famuyiwa?
Yes, you can say it. You just did.
Has directed like my least favorite episodes.
Whoa!
And I use it.
What was his season 2 episode? Was it the? Wasn't it the?
He did a good one. That was a good one. He did the
Bill
Believer.
Burr one. Yeah, Bill Burr was.
That was a great episode.
Mm.
But the one I just realized this today, that he directed the one that I always go to when I talk about how I'm not interested in the Mandalorian, is the second episode, the episode with the Mudhorn, where the whole point is walking through the desert and getting an egg.
Ooga, yeah.
But that's how you, like, the bombshell of a Baby Yoda and this hardcore warrior saving its life, even though he's not supposed to. Like, to follow it up with the egg episode.
But here's the thing: you're blaming this on Rick, and that's.
That's not right. That's fine. That's fine.
You know, like,
I do think I'm pointing out that he has directed some of my least favorite episodes, that being one of them. And I
love the movie Dope. Dope is such a good film. Scott D just mentioned
Bryce Dallas Howard's done like all the better ones, and I feel like he was the EP on this season.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this was his season. I think it would be good. Let's get Bryce Dallas Howard season 4, and she
That's an interesting way of doing it.
But she can.
Again, I think it goes back to who's writing it.
I think it's John and Dave, like, sure, it's a writer's room, but I feel like it's the John and Dave of it all. Like, they're the ones really running the show. And I feel like it's a lot of Favreau.
Yes.
It feels like Favreau's going, this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens.
Like they're not going to be able to hear you.
And
everyone be really quiet.
I feel like he's like, this happens, this happens. He gives the outline, and the outline goes to set, and the director's like, all right, I guess I'll come up with the story for this one episode. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It feels weird. I don't think that's how it works. Fett says the egg is the best.
I agree with Fetz.
I like the prop.
I
like the egg prop.
Mm-hmm. I like that episode. I think it's fun. It's like a silent episode, isn't it? It's almost like what's the Snake Eyes episode issue of G.I. Joe that's famous for being
it's like
a
you know what it's like? You know what it's exactly like? A Kate flashback. I already know the story. I don't need to see it again.
Oh, like a season 3 or 4 Kate flashback. Like, where we've seen it 3 times already. Yeah.
and she goes to visit her mom at the diner, who is doing what? Probably giving people eggs. That's what they do at diners.
All comes back to eggs.
The egg is the best. Anyway, Star Wars is good.
I thought the reveal of the Praetorian Guards was kind of cool. Like, they got a bit of an almost slow-mo shot. It felt
maybe
like
they shouldn't have been in last week's.
Yeah, maybe.
Sure. Now, here's my question about
I've got some thoughts about Praetorian Guards in this episode. I thought their reveal was really cool. It felt like the Nazgul coming in the first Lord of the Rings, like stepping over and the walking in. They felt threatening.
Yeah.
And then the shot, like we then get like an almost Michael Bay-ish like pan around Din as like shit's going on in the background and it's all blowing up and it's like I was expecting like Martin Short to Martin. Why can't I think of not Martin Short? That'd be even better.
I wish it was Short.
Yeah,
Martin Short is all Victorian art.
No. It's like the Bad Boys sort of pan around shot. Like we were getting like
Lawrence.
half of that.
Martin
Lawrence. There we go. Thank you. And now I want it to be Martin Short and Steve Martin in a Bad Boys remake.
I'd watch it.
I'd watch it.
Martin Short as Moff Gideon is kind of fun.
That guy's smart.
Wasn't Bad Boys supposed to be like Dana Carvey and John Lovitz?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I knew Dana Carvey. I'd forgotten about John Lovitz because I try and forget about John Lovitz.
But the Praetorian Guards kind of get taken out pretty easily.
Yeah.
Well,
My worry last week
used against them.
Yeah, I was really worried last week that Favreau Mandalorian was going to take one or two of them out before he died, and I was like,
Hang on.
no, these guys.
Sean just got here. He said not sure what he missed. We should probably take it from the top.
Should we start again? All right.
Yeah, let's start again.
It was a period of civil
Amy
war.
Irving.
Sean, I kind of like the episode, but we all have problems with it. There you go. That's what you missed.
Yeah. You're all caught up.
Yeah, that's it. We've been going for 36 minutes. No, the Praetorian Guard. I was really worried last week that they would get taken out. I was glad to see that they didn't, and they dispatched Paz Vizsla really quick. I was like, good. They should be a big threat when they come in. They should be menacing. And then we sort of started out that way. Within here, but then as soon as Grogu showed up, all right, Ralph, I see what you're saying. Like as soon as the Force is introduced, they do get their butts kicked.
Because it looked like Grogu was keeping at least one, not making it so not all three of them were on Din.
Yeah, he was playing keep
like
away
a
with
shot
their
where
weapons.
Grogu like swept one of their legs and they hit the floor. Like that was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That was straight up like Episode 3 Yoda taking out the Imperial Guards.
Yeah.
Which
does.
is one of my favorite things ever.
Yeah. I think
because we were all waiting for that. We were all waiting for that fight because we all thought it was going to be cool. And Yoda just comes in and just tosses them up against the ceiling.
For 30 years, people have been waiting for Yoda versus the Imperial Guards. They've been building it up in their head.
As soon as we saw him in Return of the Jedi, that was the one thing. I was like, I want Yoda to fight those guys.
The toys were on the shelf. The toys were on the shelf next to each other. I'm fine. Yeah. I'm okay with the Praetorian Guards. I think that their appearance in Last Jedi held more weight to the scene. They weren't just there to be like the big bad of the game.
Yeah. Do you think that if every episode was 10 minutes longer, it would be better?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
Give them the full hour.
Can I tell you? I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm going to talk about positives here, is that they took over Mandalore, the end, great. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts to Din, like, flying to a planet. And then I'm like, oh. And then there was, like, it was doing, like, a couple of epilogues. Like, you have the baptism, you have it was Return of the King. And I'm like, oh, shit. It's like, are we going to get, like, another half hour of, like, these guys just doing stuff? Because I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I
would have been nice, or like fleshing out the ones that we did get. Like I like them. Like when we were getting to the Rangers planet, I was like, oh cool, we're gonna get essentially like a backdoor pilot for what would have been Rangers of the New Republic, but instead we just sort of get the this is how Din's gonna get paid in the interim.
Now look, now that Din is working for the New Republic, you know what that means. You know who he could run into very easily. Because she went off to go work for the New Republic. Our old friend Cara Dune. She's back, baby. Season 4. She's back.
The Book of Cara Dune. It's just a pamphlet. It's a pamphlet. Like on the other side is like, no.
It'd be great if they recast her with someone totally opposite.
Be amazing.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah.
And they don't acknowledge. Like it's now Leslie Jones.
It's Don Cheadle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's Don Cheadle doing his British accent from the
From the
Ocean's
Ocean's
movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I agree. We need more Carson Teva. I think he's great, and I
Yeah.
wish he was more. I don't agree with Scott D's comment, but I do agree with Darth.
So, okay, so just so
Bilbo's
so just so you
character,
know,
not Bilbo.
just so everyone's clear, I went to click Dartharian's comment, and Scott D's slid under my cursor. I'm
Endorsing.
fine. I'm okay with Bill Burr. I think like with Bill Burr, like where we left him was great.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that made me like the character that Bill Burr is playing. I
Mhm.
don't really know much about Bill Burr, but at that
He
time
was
I was like, that was a really great episode, and it was really
Yeah.
well done, and I liked his character.
And it's a
I'm
great
like, I don't
ending
need-
to his character.
Don't
He's not going to
don't-
go and be a good guy. He's just going to go and be like neutral.
Yeah,
He
he
was at
might
the
show up.
He was at the premiere this year, and I was convinced that meant he was coming back this season.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I was sort of clenched the entire season, nervous that it was going to happen. And
It's like when Frank Oz showed up to the Last Jedi premiere, and everyone's like,
Well,
thanks for spoiling us.
could've
Like, there's no
snuck him
way
in the
Frank
back
Oz would
in
go to
costume.
a random Star Wars premiere.
Trying to think of what else happened in this episode. Not much, I guess.
they rips apart the Darksaber. They crush the Darksaber. That's
yeah.
like
Right.
I like that though, because it's what Gideon says. It's like
Bill.
Mandalorians love their trinkets, but if he's not bothered about having it, why was he trying to get it back from her?
He wanted
so
it
much?
so bad.
He wanted it so
But
bad,
don't
and then
you-
he's like, "All right, I can't have it. I'm going to break it." He's a petulant child who's just breaking the toys.
Also, judging by the track record of this show, don't you think the cold open of season 4 will be Bo being like, "Guess what? Rebuilt the Darksaber.
Yeah,
It's all fixed."
It's now
Like
silver.
I feel like that's yeah, but that's what keeps happening on this show. Is like stuff will happen that you're like, "Oh, I assume this is like a big permanent change that this show is making." Like Grogu's inside the IG unit. You know, all these things are new and different, and that's cool. We're moving forward in the story. And then the next episode or 5 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, never mind." Never mind.
Razor
I don't
Crest.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Razor Crest, he gets a new silver ship. Yeah. I thought it was a good idea in concept. I feel like we're a bit jaded because of the way that this show's gone, but like in concept, I like the idea of wrecking that. Did you think we were going to get a mythosaur pop up at the end during that like blessing, that baptism?
Why did they show it?
It was set up.
Yeah, like that's exactly. I was expecting just like anything to happen. Maybe they're Mandalorians. They just love shooting the water, so maybe they just do that as like their celebration, and then he's just pissed off. But I mean,
Yeah,
again,
there
we've
was a
seen
shot- there was-
we've seen the Grogu connection. He's got like some animal handling skill points or whatever. Like, so he can feel it down there. But
Yeah.
again, like Bo-Katan knows that it's down there. Like,
Yeah.
surely at this point she's going to be going around and going, okay, right. Do I tell other people? Because I told her and she didn't really believe me. And now I'm gonna go and ride this thing, or what?
Yeah.
They could tape it together like Ray, Luke's, Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, there was a shot where they were fighting and Bo was like over the edge of like a cliff in Gideon's lair. And I'm like, oh, she has a jetpack, so it's not that scary. But I'm like, oh, maybe she'll get knocked down and then come rising
Come
up.
back up again.
But Axe
You're
Woves
never gonna
just
keep
like
her down.
Axe Woves just pointed that Star Destroyer right there.
Yeah, he's mad. He's a mad lad. He's I'm gonna go get the ship and then I'm just gonna drive it straight into their base. Like that's how I'll destroy it.
I feel like they think that like Grogu being able to make a bubble so they don't catch on fire is like a cooler thing than it
It's
maybe
a callback
is.
to season 1. He did it in season 1. He saved him in season 1.
But I don't know.
I think the music swelling and him saving them and everything was like it was cool. I like it was a nice moment. It definitely cemented the fact that those three like should be a nice cute little family at this point. Like like why again it's the armorer still being the villain of this piece, keeping the people that we want to be together away from each other and saying, okay, if he's going to be your son now, you need to leave because them's the rules. That she's just making up as she goes along. I think she just wants Bo-Katan for herself. I think she doesn't want to
I
be
mean,
there.
sounds like an interesting plot, and I wish they would.
Yeah, right.
Do it.
Yeah, I'd like a
Yeah.
reveal that the armor has been dead since the beginning of season 1, and that at the end of season 1 she came back and it's a different character.
I just, it just feels like we're 3 seasons in, and I wish they would tell us anything about the armor or like do something with the armor, because they keep setting her up to like do anything and she doesn't, and it's just kind of like, I don't know. At a certain point, you have to be like, what's her deal? Like,
I was really worried. I was really worried during the the ceremony, because they all had their helmets on.
Yeah.
And Bo-Katan had her helmet back on. I was like, oh no, they're gonna go back to this, and then we're just not gonna see any faces again. And then I thought it was cool when they're doing the relighting of the forges, that Bo had her helmet off. All of her people, like half of the people in the crowd, had their helmets off.
Yeah.
Great. I think a real like moment of fealty to like, hey, you're our leader, would have been the armorer takes her helmet off.
Sure.
Great.
Sure.
Like, and they don't all have to. And I like the idea. It's a bit of growth on their part, I guess, that it's you don't have to. You can if you want to. We're going to stick to this. We're fundamentalists, but you guys aren't as strict. So, but that's fine. People can all get along. We don't need to be antagonistic to each other, because apes strong together.
No Pedro this season.
No, not once.
No.
Well, I mean, I guess he's filming Last of Us when they're doing this, but it's still like, I don't know. You sort of expect to see it at least once.
And
I think he's just got a voice actor paycheck this time instead of.
Well, he gets whatever he gets, but I guarantee you he wasn't in the suit once.
No. Well, the other two guys were higher up in the credits as well, which I think is good for them, because they're doing all of the work.
Yeah. But I also think he's been basically doing all the work since the beginning. I think he's
totally
a season,
Yeah.
He probably did the pilot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
did the pilot. Maybe I think he did a little bit in season 2 because he had the time.
I think he did the pilot. I feel like he was cast. No, maybe that's not right. I was gonna say I feel like he was cast after they shot, but maybe that's not right.
They definitely had shown off like some of those shots of him walking through Navarro or Tatooine, like before they'd announced it was him.
He probably just wasn't announced. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting.
That's why they can make as many as they want.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, but listen, everyone online is saying he's not happy and he doesn't want to make the show anymore. So those are all the rumors that are flying around.
Oh
online.
man, so do we have enough Pedro Pascal out there to do like the fake Luke voice and the fake Darth Vader voice?
I'm sure. Between this show, you've got the voice modulation that they do on Eddie already. Like, you've got plenty of him from other things. He's doing the similar sort of thing in The Last of Us. So you just take some of that stuff. You just replace every time he says Ellie with Grogu. There you go. You've got another season.
But it's also just like, he's not going anywhere. You know what I mean? It's the easiest gig in Hollywood. He goes in for like 20 minutes to do an episode. He's got like 7 lines. And then that's it. It's very easy. He's not going anywhere.
He probably has they probably put a sound booth in his garage.
Yeah. They're also making that movie. You know what I mean? Like, everyone online, there was a lot of stuff online about people thinking he was going to die this episode. And yeah, I know. People were like, he's going to die or Grogu's going to die. And I'm like, you guys are freaking
Grogu is the safest character that there has ever existed in Star Wars.
A character who requires no actor and makes them $1 billion a year. Like, they're not killing Grogu, guys.
Yeah.
But they would not have announced a Mandalorian-esque movie, if they were going to kill it in this episode.
By the way, the little chest circle Grogu has wasn't even brought into play.
No,
like, they didn't even pretend like he was going to get like.
Yeah, he should have got shot like by someone. Yeah, do the classic fake out.
But like in the head, right? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, definitely.
Like,
yeah.
It ricochets off of the bowl-shaped thing
into an ear. He loses. He just has a clipped ear. That's
Man,
sort of,
no,
yeah.
if he lost an
Oh,
eye,
that'd be so
rad
cool.
as hell.
Yeah, Grogu with an
He
eye
looked
patch
like-
would look.
He'd look like, oh god, I'm gonna pull a name from Evan Peel. Is that his name?
Yeah, it is.
The Council who's like missing an eye.
Yeah.
That's who he's like. There you go.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
And then there'd be a reason for him to get a helmet at some point when they're never going to give him a helmet because you can't cover that face up. It's the same reason that I think maybe at some point they were considering having him speak, but they're just like, nah. As soon as you have him speak, like I feel like they took the risk. Well, that's it. Who are you going to do? How are you going to do it? And what cadence is he going to speak in? And yeah.
I think he speaks normal. My theory,
I hope.
It was confirmed with Tales of the Jedi last year, is that Yoda is just a weirdo.
Yep.
And because Yaddle doesn't talk that way.
Nope.
Yeah.
You know, I think Yoda's just a weirdo. But I think people would be disappointed if he did not speak in the Yoda way.
So I'm reading through the latest High Republic book at the moment, and Yaddle's in that quite a lot. And she's she's listed, or someone says, like, I think she's about 100 years old, or maybe like 200 years old. But it was like, well, if Grogu was only 50, then she's already a Jedi Master at that point. Like, yes, she's younger than Yoda, but she's relatively spry. I think she might be 200. She's like about 200 years old in that. So like,
okay,
but she's probably been trained as a Jedi since she was like 2.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't know.
Grogu didn't get it until he was like 65, or however long it's been.
You don't know when he got there.
Yeah, he might have had like 40 years of training.
I guess so.
No, 30 years of training, and now it's been about 20, 25. I don't know.
I want more Keller and Beck.
Keller and Beck. All of the stuff on Coruscant that people seem to hate this year that we really liked.
Really?
Pershing? Oh, people hated the Pershing stuff. Yeah,
I like the Pershing stuff.
I thought the Pershing stuff was great.
I think it was kind of. I kind of think it was kind of the payoff was a little bit dumb, that it was all just so that Gideon could get the Force.
Yeah, but again, I feel like that's not a payoff at this point. That's just the next bit of this. I feel like we're getting more of that.
Yeah, but with him talking to Paleon and stuff, and talking about Necromancer, like
Project Necromancer. Yeah,
let's get into that stuff.
So here's what I think. I was expecting a post credits or an end of season thing with Gideon in this, and I was expecting him to have got away, like been defeated but got away, classic sort of cartoon stuff, and then show up at a base with Pelion, going like reporting to Pelion or something, and then Thrawn is there, and he's like, Moff Gideon,
you were expecting so good story and plot.
So good of you to join us, and then just kill him, and then that would have been his demise.
But now to pull up Richard Booth's most recent comment, saying maybe we need a bit more patience for things to pay off. We've just finished basically 4 seasons of this show. If we're counting Boba, we're 4 seasons into this show. That's like the length of a normal show. You know what I mean? Like most shows go 4 seasons. I just think
I agree with Richard in the fact that I'm just like, I'm not in any hurry. The show's not going anywhere. I don't need everything to pay off, but just like progression would be better. And yeah, it's I think we are just all overthinking what this show is. But I think we're all guilty of it, even though we sort of try and preach like, don't get your expectations too high. That we start to think that it's going to do this, it's going to link to this. We're going to need to watch these episodes of Rebels and Clone Wars for it to make sense. It's like, you don't need to see shit. Like, you don't need to you don't need to know what Rebels is. You don't need to know anything about Bo-Katan before we meet her, like in this show. Like
I think
it is disconnected.
Yeah. And it's just hard because there's so few episodes and it's so long in between the episodes that you sort of like, you only know you're getting a little bit and you want that little bit to count. And I don't want to have to wait a year and a half or 2 because I doubt he's going to show up in Ahsoka. You know what I mean? Like,
I hope this exactly. There should be more in Ahsoka for them to do.
I don't think it's going to be a Boba thing where like he gets 3 episodes of Ahsoka again. You know, and they haven't even filmed 4, so like it's going to be a long time. So I think it's just a little frustrating to know like we got a long freaking time. Like we're getting
there's at least two other there's at least two other shows and Andor season 2 before we get back to this.
Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Skeleton Crew too. There's so many shows before this, so it's just like frustrating to be like, I might be dead. You know, I may never see the next season of this show, and that's only 2 years away. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna say this,
but
there's
I feel
a good
like
chance that I'm dead before.
There's at least a 50% chance.
They got plenty of time to write. Just
It's written. Favreau says it's written.
That's Favreau has his ideas written. That's his A4 sheet that is an entire season.
Well, wasn't he bragging early on that it would take him like an hour and a half to write an episode? And everyone was like, "Yeah, no, we know.
Yeah, we got it." There's an egg. They get on a sandcrawler. He gets the egg.
Yeah.
Give season 4 to George.
I don't
bust out his legal pad.
George
Get out
doesn't
his
want
legal
it.
pad.
Yeah.
George doesn't. I don't think he wants it.
Which
George are we? Oh, wait, hang on.
The
Are we talking retired filmmaker George Lucas, or are we talking? Or are we talking retired filmmaker George Lucas?
Look, let's leave George alone and let's let him enjoy his retirement and his children and his wife.
I agree.
I guess so.
We don't need him back because everyone was mean to him and he deserved to leave. And people can't.
Everyone was mean to Ahmed Best. Everyone was mean to hated Christensen.
I guess we should have let George rescue Grogu then. Maybe that's the next thing. That's where Kellerman Beck's bringing him to George on that move.
Jake Lloyd is going to play an adult. Jake Lloyd's going to play an adult version of Grogu. Just you watch.
What if Kellerman Beck is bringing Grogu to Baron Papanoida?
Yes.
That's what's happening.
Yes. Please.
I mean, Baron Papanoida popped up in Clone Wars, didn't he? I'm sure, or at least the daughters, the kids did.
Oh, he did too. He did too.
Yeah, he's it. Yeah.
Or he's in Rebels.
If anyone is going to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival this August, they might be able to see a play called The Baron and the Junk Dealer, which may or may not be starring Baron Papanoida. That's all I'm saying.
I'm going to try and get up there. I've got a really busy August already, but I'm going to try and get up there at some point for it, definitely.
Yeah. More Baron Papanoida content. That's my thing.
Yep, absolutely.
Just
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine?
It would be amazing. It would be.
It would be in Ahsoka. It would be in Ahsoka.
Yeah, because it would be Dave only. It wouldn't be a Favreau thing. That would be all Dave. Yeah. Here you go, Dad. I put you in the show. Yeah. I don't know. We talked about it at the early part of the season, how the show is so different from something like Andor, which is a much more different and mature show than this. And I'm still holding out hope that Ahsoka is essentially Rebel season 5. It's going to be the one that's connected to things, and it's doing things like moving that story forward. It's got Thrawn, it's got Ezra, yada yada yada, and then you've got Skeleton Crew that's doing something completely different. If this show is this like popcorn show for people who don't know Star Wars very well, like people watching this show now, us, like we know all of that stuff already, but The Mandalorian hits on such a broader spectrum because of Grogu, because of the catchphrases that people can repeat and put on bumper stickers and stuff. Like, if this is that show and we've got all the rest of it, cool, great. I'm happy. Like, I'm not mad at it at all because it's also in its own little pocket and you don't need to worry about it too much. That's where I've come down on it, I think.
You have to watch all of Rebels season 2 in order to understand Ahsoka. So,
yeah, I'm in the middle of the rewatch. We just started rewatching it, and I'm fine with that. But...
we just started watching it. Liz has never seen it, and she was excited by the Ahsoka trailer, so we're watching it again. And so I'm watching it again, and yeah, it's good.
I'm curious if you're right in that you won't need to have seen it, but I don't really understand how it will not be completely impenetrable.
I think Ahsoka will have that level of entry. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, it's that show will have that. Whereas this show doesn't. Like, we think that this show is going to need those Mandalorian connections, but it doesn't. Whereas Ahsoka will be the show that does. And Andor you can come into it and just.
I just thought of something that would make me happy.
Oh, this is good. Here we go.
Cake?
Ralph full screen. Let's make Ralph.
Because
Ice
I
cream.
don't fart around with that. I can, but I'm not good at moving the stuff around. But I'm going to say this, and it's I'm guaranteeing it's already happened, and we've yet to see it. A behind the scenes picture of Timothy Zahn with Lars Mikkelsen in full Thrawn makeup.
I'm sure,
and that makes me very happy.
Yeah. I mean, he said that he
want.
knows what's happened to Thrawn in between Rebels and Ahsoka. Like, he's basically like almost self-confirming that he's writing the book about it. It's like, they're only ever gonna let, or as long as he wants to, Zahn's gonna be the only person writing Thrawn.
Right, because I was thinking about Baron Papanoida hanging out with Thrawn. I'd be like, get George on the set there, and I'm like, oh wait, no, let's get Timothy Zahn with Thrawn.
Yeah,
on the lawn.
Let's let Timothy Zahn play Baron Papanoida.
Oh my!
He does like blue guys.
He likes blue guys.
Yeah,
but he could be Baron Papanoida's brother. What is Papanoida just because he's the dad, Papa? And
well,
what
the thing that you're forgetting is that Baron is actually the family name.
Got it.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know.
It just doesn't. The Din Grogu thing doesn't make any sense. Like there are so many other Mandalorians, and none of them have that naming convention.
Yeah. The thing I did see online, which maybe answers it, is that he's from somewhere, like they found him somewhere. So maybe that was the convention on that planet that they took him from.
Okay. All right. So his given name was Jaren.
Backwards speak?
Oh, man.
It's just going to confuse.
Jaren is from the Yoda planet?
No, I'm saying they're honoring Yoda's backwards speak.
Yeah, no, we're saying the same thing. We're saying the same thing. Yeah.
Scott D, Din equals Mr.
Mr. Jaren.
Mr. Jaren. Mr. Jaren was his dad's name. He just goes by Jaren.
That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
He's a knight.
Yeah.
He got knighted by Lizzo.
His name is just going to get so long. They're just going to keep adding these.
Great. Do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yoda had 4 letters. He's already got more than that in just the first name that we learned from him.
He's better than Yoda. That's what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
You see a pickup truck on the back. It's some letters actually out. It just says Sir Din Grogu.
The 4th.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Ranch House.
This is what I think
IG-11's the Marshal now. That was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I like the IG-11 Marshal.
Yeah.
Do you think he looks at those statue legs and just stands there sometimes when he's marshalling? Do you think they put a stool on there so that when he's just in the town square, he just sits there?
I want him to keep watch. That's where he keeps watch.
Yeah.
They think it's a statue. When they come, like if a pirate were to come back, they think it's a statue, but it's not.
Yeah.
And then he just puts the self-destruct in his chest.
I sort of just want an anthology show where like every episode is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I liked. Sorry, this is sort of going off on a left turn, but not really, because I'll get back to it. Like I liked the Pershing episode where it was just like, here's an episode they're on Coruscant and they're doing this. And even if it was just like, here's an IG-11 episode, here's a Brief Target episode. Yeah, exactly. I know that's not what this show is, but it sort of felt like it was maybe going that way a little bit this season. And I realized,
Pelimoto and the Pit Droids, like the episode. Yeah.
Sure. It would not be top of my list, but yeah.
No, but like, it's the sort of thing that they would absolutely do because they love having their own
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I sort of just want that, and I don't know if they would do that because it feels like it would maybe cost a lot of money, you know.
I mean,
but someday
they get people in just to do one episode of this show, so and they could do most of it on the volume. So I can't imagine it's any more costly than a regular thing. Like just do, instead of Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Mandalorians, and it's just people related to the Mandalorian.
That's what I think they should have called Book of Boba Fett or something
totally.
like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like I think it would have fixed a lot of those problems that people had with the title of that show.
Even with the Tales of the Mandalorians, like you could include Timothy Oliphant, because like he was wearing the armor at some point. He's as much a Mando as Boba Fett, sort of thing. So it's just all these guys that we've met. We've introduced enough characters at this point that you could do a really good 8 episodes of one at a time. Carson Tava, like
Cara Dune.
Never.
I can't even remember his name. The joke's not even gonna work. Don't worry about it.
Sure don't want to. We'll wait.
I can't
We'll
think
wait. Yeah, we'll just wait.
No, his name is the Mithril. I was gonna bring back the Mithril.
Oh yeah, we didn't see him. Is he still working there?
I don't think they're gonna bring him back.
No,
that's my gut.
Yep. Yeah. I don't have anything else.
I don't think we had anything else like 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And I don't like shitting on Star Wars. And I mean,
I don't either.
Listen,
and I'm sorry
with the amount that Disney's putting out, amount of Star Wars, like they're not all going to be super awesome.
And that's fine. You don't have to like everything.
Because there's a new Star Wars series coming out in a couple months.
You got Visions in a couple of weeks.
The thing is, and it might be hard to believe this after listening to this hour, I didn't dislike the episode. I really didn't.
Same.
I just want it to grow and blossom into the full potential that I think it has.
Yeah.
I think for the
Mandalorian
team out there working on the next season, put your heads together, come up with something really solid and concise, and get out there and do it.
Thanks, Ralph.
I feel like
they've been waiting for that. They've never heard that before.
I
feel like we watched two.
Game.
just have fun with it. Just
this is going to be a handful of people are going to get this analogy. I feel like we watched 2 solid episodes of or seasons of Lost. They're pretty good seasons of Lost, and now season 3 was that first pod of Kate and Sawyer in the cages before we go off on another hiatus.
Pre-writer strike, and what's happening? Another writer strike.
Wow, look at that.
So, but the thing is, once Lost had that end date, things really started picking up. But stories felt more focused. Just be like, come up with your ending story for season 4, and just be like, this is what we're building to, and it's going to be really cool. But don't just make it guys punch each other.
They just announced the movie.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So you are not wrong. Like, this is sort of a similar situation where they say that movie is the quote unquote like culmination of all these stories.
Yeah.
But also that movie may not come out until 2032.
So what you're saying this season was done before they figured that out. So this season is the Nikki and Paolo of Mandalorian.
And I really enjoyed
it. Now it's time to really
razzle dazzle.
Wait, so you're saying this is the best part of Mandalorian? I'm sorry, is that what you're saying? Is that what that means?
We have been saying that this is our favorite season for most of this season.
Yes. I think this season is so weird, and I like that.
Bryce Dallas Howard's episode's 100% expose.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
God, yeah.
Wow, you're right.
Huh?
It's a good episode.
If you haven't watched Lost, go check it out.
If Jack Black and Lizzo are also having Lando over for dinner, I mean, then it is expose. Like, it's right there.
Right.
Yeah.
And Christopher Lloyd is the Cobra.
That's it.
Wow.
Guys.
We've done it. We fixed it.
Maybe I like this season more than I thought.
This season, dude, you've been enjoying this season. You've been soured on this episode, but like you've enjoyed this season.
No, I've enjoyed this season quite a bit.
Yeah.
And on the show I do with Jay over at Geeked Out Life, I kind of get shit for it because I feel like my opinions never line up with anybody else's. Fetz Feds points it out every time. My takes are 100% hot every single time. They never line up. I like the Pershing
Edgelord Ralph.
episode. I didn't like, so we'll see. But overall, I mean, as far as the season goes, I very much enjoyed everything. I thought they needed something in this last episode, and I don't know what that was. It could have been a number of things. It could have been a reveal of a spy. It could have been I don't know, Grogu in danger. Grogu being hooked up to a machine, getting his midichlorians extracted from
them failing to take Mandalore, like anything like that. Like, yeah.
Okay. So Jeremy asked who are Rose and Bernard, and Stevie came up with the perfect response.
Yeah.
The frog people.
Yeah. I was going with Tusker and Axe,
Rose and Bernard. Rose and
no,
Bernard didn't show up like all the time. They kind of popped in and out. So we're just waiting for their return.
They were too busy fucking.
Well, they had to.
Exactly. No one else was on the island.
Because they lost how many eggs?
Yeah, they had
Rose and Bernard lost loads of eggs. Oh god. It suddenly turned into an episode about menopause.
They're in Grogu's diaper. That's what
right. Okay.
Is this show just becoming a Lost show? Is that what this is?
Every show just becomes a Lost show eventually. Yeah.
I've not watched it.
Yeah, it's great.
They are the frog people.
Look at that.
Before we get off of Lost, I'm getting updates of Ed and his girlfriend watching Lost for the first time. Every couple of days, they watch 2 or 3 episodes. And they just did 2 for the road, and their response was, "Holy fucking shit! What the fuck was that?" And then the response to question mark was question mark. It was good. Like they are fully in. They are unspoiled. So they've been going through and they've been like, "Ugh, Anna Lucia is the worst.
Did you
Anna
let
Lucia
them
is
know
the
about
worst.
the
Anna Lucia is the worst. Oh, Michael's back. Oh no, what just happened?"
Did you let them know about the DUIs?
No, I haven't told them anything. I don't want them spoiled on anything. Yeah,
it's a good show.
It's great. It's great.
Lost is a good show.
Also in Hawaii when question
Hear that, right?
aired.
Right there. That's a Dharma barbecue bottle.
Nice.
I have a box of Dharmalars right there.
Look at that.
I've got a Lost poster right there.
Wow, look at that. I have a Lost frame thing right here. It's a concept art for the fail-safe key that Desmond turns.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right there.
And I have this Ewok phone that I love dearly, and it brings me so much Star Wars joy every day.
And I have this Obi-Wan Kenobi action figure on an Austin Powers body. His name is Obi.
Obehave.
Obehave Kenobi.
I have a scientific calculator. What has this episode become? What are we doing?
So much junk.
This
is what happened.
I have a British power adapter.
Oh, you do?
I have a couple of those.
That's a good one. You got USBs on there and everything.
Grow glasses. Grow.
Great.
These are grow glasses.
I've got some Comtech chips that I put onto keychains that I was trying to give out, and then I forgot to because I was having too much fun. Oh, that's a Green Lantern ring.
This was given to me by someone from Lost.
Jeremy Kelly is witnessing the breakdown. Oh, that's a nice new hat.
So, here's a question. It has been discussed. We do not know. We do not know. But also, Scott, is this your way of telling us to just
I think it is. I think move along.
Because let me just say something right now. Now, Patrick, you joined us. The last time you joined us was to talk about the radio drama, the Star Wars radio drama.
Yeah, and I was very late.
Wait, can he wear the sunglasses?
I don't know if he can. I don't know if they'll fit.
And the hat?
Yes, he can.
There you go.
I guess he
my
can.
God.
Is there anything cooler than wearing your own sunglasses?
No, I wear my own sunglasses all the time.
$1 billion?
Yeah, okay. That's 2 good answers.
So I'm thinking we have until August to before Ahsoka drops.
Yep.
I don't think there's any live action Star Wars before then. I'm
You want me to
thinking
listen
maybe
to the Empire
sometime in that
Strikes
gap we get a Data Link follow up of the Empire Strikes Back radio drama at some point.
Yeah, let's do it.
You gotta do it before August because I'll be in Edinburgh. But yeah, sure.
They still have the internet there.
I mean,
That's
I'm
not what I've
sure-
heard.
That's true. I can't speak to it. I've not been
Actually,
up
you
there.
know what? Maybe it's better if I do it in Edinburgh. Oh, but August is when Ahsoka starts, so you want to do it before that, anyways.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I mean, I don't know if you'd want to do a Thursday show, guys, but May 25th is wide open.
It's so soon out.
Let me pull up a calendar right now.
Yeah, we listened to the first radio drama in like
Days.
like a couple days.
Yeah.
I've never heard.
But
the
if we
Empire
do
one.
it,
I've not ever heard the Empire
me either.
one. Wow.
I've
I'm
heard.
very excited.
I only had New Hope and Return of the Jedi when I was growing up. I did not have the Empire one, so I've never heard it.
25th, I'm off work. So we can do any time. We can do later. We can go long.
I can do the 25th. You want to do the 25th?
Let's do the
I'll
25th. Let's do the 25th. Let's do Orthodox Star Wars Day.
A Thursday.
There you go.
Orthodox Star Wars Day. May the 4th, Darth Ian says May the 4th. Patrick is busy that day. He will be doing the second annual George Lucas talk show Describe-a-thon.
Sure. And if you like
which
Lost,
I
that
believe
will
is
be a good episode to watch.
Oh, I do like Lost. Well, I'm going to watch it anyway, but that's just a bonus.
I'll put in the private chat. Why? Hang on.
Oh.
Oh, it sounds like another guest tease. Hold on, I looked at it. Oh, dude, come on.
Yeah.
You guys got to watch. Wait, hold on.
That's a good one.
It's Matthew
Hey.
Fox.
It's Matthew Fox.
Okay.
We're only going to, yeah.
The fact that
Where
you
do you get a
put just
Where do we get a link? To what? The radio drama or to my show? Because my show will be live on twitch.tv/friendzone, and then we'll live on the George Lucas Talk Show YouTube channel after that.
cool. I noticed you just put the last name, so I'm assuming it's a repeating guest.
Punch it!
No, that's not how it works. You want to get out of here, though?
Let's do it. I haven't eaten
Okay.
today, and it's getting late. I'm hungry.
I'm supposed to be
Cheerios.
working.
You are. Look at you cuddle that Grogu. That's work. All right. Let's do it. I enjoyed this season of Mandalorian greatly. This episode wasn't my favorite, but I enjoyed the season a lot. But no matter what everyone says, don't give in to hate.
Celebrate the love.
Slap that like button.